Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica. Thank you so much for tuning in. For today's video, I am super excited because it is the first episode of a new series I will be doing here on my channel, and that is what's new and what's true at the drugstore. So before we get into this tutorial on how I got this look, I do kind of want to break down what this series is going to consist of, so bear with me. Sorry if it's a long intro. One aspect of this series is going to be point blank, one, what's new at the drugstore, what's hot, what just came out that I want to try. And I think it's amazing that drugstore is coming out with new products almost every single week and makes makeup very accessible to many. And that kind of leads me to my second segment of this show, or series, not show, but we can call it show. And the second part of this segment is what is true. Things and products that I love from the drugstore that aren't necessarily new, but have been working with me for a long time. Things that I actually do use on a daily basis that I want to talk about. Because I feel like a lot of these videos, people talk about what's new at the drugstore and that's it. No, I like watching things that have been working. What's been working for you? What has been working for me? So I do want to implement those. That way I can kind of get looks out there, what products that you may already have with products that are amazing from the drugstore, if that kind of makes sense. So again, that's what's new and what's true at the drugstore. And everything doesn't have to be new all the time. I think it's important for people to utilize what they already have, because one, it's not only impossible to buy everything financially wise, but two, it's impossible to wear everything that's coming out in the drugstore. So I kind of want to break it apart, some things that are new and looks that you can make already with things you have at home that are from the drugstore. So hopefully that makes sense. I know that was a lot of words, but thank you for sticking through that. I'm so excited to start this new segment, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to follow along in the series. As far as frequency goes, I think I'll upload one of these videos once a month, maybe twice a month, depending on what's been rolling out the past month. So it's gonna vary, but promising once a month, throwing that out there. So if you want to follow this series, make sure you subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell if you want to be notified when I do upload. I am trying this new schedule of uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you get 3 videos a week. So make sure, if you want to see my content, I make beauty videos, lifestyle, and a vlog here and there. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video if you want to see more of this series. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're barefaced and beautiful. Here we go. So I'm wearing my I'm Tired shirt. What's new and what's good? Before we get started, I know I already spoke your ear off. Thank you so much if you held through that intro, but I had to explain everything. But anyway, if you're new here, if you're not, you already heard this. I'm so sorry if there's a lot of noise in the background because my house is being remodeled. So if you hear banging in the back and stuff, ignore it. I'm gonna try my best to work around it and like stop recording when necessary, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're here for this new series, which I'm super excited about. So I think I'm gonna do the opposite today. I'm gonna start off with my eyebrows. I normally start off with foundation and stuff, but we're not today. So I'm not gonna use this today. It's not drugstore, but I'm just using it for the sake of a mirror. I used to have a handheld mirror, but I lost it. I'm really excited because a handful of the products that I'm using today are new, and I actually got a chance to wear them out yesterday because I literally just purchased them and I love them already. So first off with the brows, this is the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I have shade, it doesn't say on here, it's a neutral brown one. There we go. Yeah, neutral brown, and then same neutral brown for the Wow Brow. I really like how you're able to get those nice strokes in those like empty areas, and it's a very fine pencil, so they're not going to be very thick lines, which I really appreciate. There's nothing better than a fresh brow pencil. I was very impressed by this pencil because it was literally $5, and I use my favorite brow pencil in general. It's the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and that baby is $24, and I didn't realize until I was at the store yesterday, and I was like, This is $5, and if this is amazing, that's gonna save me $24 of the pencil, and then on top of that, $24 of the Gimme Brow. Amazing. I really like this because it's not super waxy, and it's just the right amount of pigment, and you can really create a brow. So this is one thing that is new at the drugstore, and that is the E.L.F. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in shade Neutral Medium. Before I get into the Wow Brow, I'm going to use this HD Studio Photogenic NYX concealer to carve out those brows. Oh, another thing I want to mention too is my tools, my little makeup utensils. These are probably the only things that aren't going to be at drugstore. It's so hard for me to buy drugstore makeup brushes because I want to feel them in order to trust them, but a lot of them are in a package. There we go. I am not a brows before foundation kind of gal, so this feels a little weird, but I just wanted to try something a little bit different. So for eyes, I do have another concealer. So this is a new product, and I was a little upset because at my local Target, they only had a very small section for the concealers, and no, it wasn't what was left over. It was literally just dedicated to the concealers, and there's only a slot of like 6, and they were only the the lightest shades, and that's not E.L.F's fault. I don't think that's anybody's fault, but I'm like, you just sent that Target 6 shades and they were all for lighter complexions. In the tube or component, it doesn't look as light, but once I applied it to my skin, it was so light. But I did like the formula, so I actually use this underneath my foundation first when I used it yesterday, and then I applied my foundation on top so it didn't look so light. But yeah, it's way too light, but for today's sake, I do want to use it. I do need to purchase one that is better for my skin tone, so I need to go to another Target. But I'm going to use this as a primer. See how light that is? This is the Camo, the 16-hour Camo concealer. I did like the formula. The only thing is you need to work with it quick. That's why I'm doing one eye at a time. Another reason why I like doing brows after foundation is because I feel like when I'm done applying, I like go around my brows and I kind of diffuse the cleanliness of the brows. So I need to be very careful when I blend out my foundation today. I realized that I didn't even apply the Wow Brow, but I'll do that when I'm done with my foundation. I do want to talk a little bit about this concealer. Again, it is 16-hour, and as I said, you kind of need to work with it fast because it dries down. But even underneath my foundation, my under eyes did not look cakey. They weren't cracking apart. They didn't look dry, which is a huge plus. I'm really excited to get a shade that is more fitted for my under eye. I do go lighter for the concealer on my under eye, but not this light. So for my eyeshadow, I do have a question for you guys. I know the title of the series is going to be called What is New and True at the Drugstore, but do you guys consider Morphe drugstore? Because the pricing is very comparable and sometimes even cheaper than drugstore. I'm actually not going to use this today. I was thinking about it, but before I actually use Morphe products like this, I just wanted to ask you guys. But yeah, that's just something to think about. Do you guys consider it drugstore? I know they sell it at, I know they sell it at Ulta, and they have a wide variety of drugstore, and again, the pricing is very similar, sometimes less. So up to you, let me know. That way in the future, if you consider it, I'll use them in my drugstore tutorials. But for the case of that, I will be using this NYX Contour Intuitive palettes. Now this is a true item. I love this palette. I think NYX eyeshadows are very blendable. They're very pigmented. There's not a lot of fallout. And I really do like the shades in this palette. I love the browns and the cranberries and sort of these shimmer colors. I will say, not the formula wise, palettes like these specifically, I don't normally pick up, like with the eyeshadows and then the blush and the highlight. I will be using different blush and highlight today, but I think this is a very good purchase. They have a few of these palettes in different color schemes. Kind of just want like a one and done palette ready to go. I definitely recommend these because if you think about it, if you travel, if you're on the go, this is perfect. You have 3-in-1 products. So this would be my crease, this would be the transition for my crease, and then I'll use these to deepen it up, and then I'm gonna use this one on the lid. That way I don't keep showing you guys. So I'm mainly blending that on my crease, and I like focusing most of the product on the inner part of the crease, because I like bringing my shadow nowadays a little higher up on that brow area. Another good thing about NYX shadows is they're very true to the shade you see on the pan, because sometimes with Drugstore is the color may seem gray and then they're not as pigmented, and then you pick it up and then what's showing on the pan is not showing on your eyelid, or it's patchy. So this is very true to the color and very blendable. I like laying down that shimmer crease first, putting it on the inner parts of my eyelid and blending up with the same flat brush that I'm using to kind of create a seamless edge. The concealer is doing a good job at holding together, and it's not making the shadows patchy at all. Getting that burgundy color and focusing it on the outer V of my eyelid. And then just no excess product on the blending brush and just diffusing it out a little bit. Going in with that darker brown with a pencil brush and just using it along the lower lash line to deepen it up a little bit. The purpose is not to have that eyeliner look, it's just to kind of deepen it up and smoke out that lash line a little bit. See, there's like no patchiness. The colors are true to the shade on the pan, and they're just so pretty. And they're so easy to work with as well if you've never tried NYX shadows, so good. I would say they're very comparable to MAC because they're owned by the same company, or NYX owns MAC, MAC owns NYX. I'm one of those two. So for mascara, I will be using the Colossal Big Shot from Maybelline. This is a waterproof one. So this product is true to me because I've been using it for so long. It holds a curl so well, and it makes my lashes look so good as if I'm wearing falsies when I really pack it on, and it doesn't get crumbly on me. So that's another reason why I really enjoy this mascara. But since we will be using lashes today, I'm not gonna really layer it on. Not putting on bottom mascara just yet because I wanna do that. I wanna do that once we're done with the whole look. So for the Drugstore lashes, classic old Ardell Wispies. So these are true to me, love these. These are classic, can't go wrong. They're the perfect amount of volume and fluff without being too dramatic. Ardell Demi Wispies. What's new about it? All right, so the rest of the face, I'm excited because these products are new and I got to try it out yesterday, as I mentioned earlier, and so good. Both of these, this is a foundation I will be using today. This is the Born to Glow from NYX Cosmetics, and for my primer I will be using the E.L.F. Wow, they failed to put the name of it on the packaging, but this was the Nourishing Radiant something. It'll be linked down below, but pretty much the description got me, and it was skin-like, beautiful, radiant. So that's me. That's what I want on my face. So I love the packaging. It's a nice little tube with the pointed end. I think this is new. I might be wrong, but for today's video, is it new in the drugstore? Maybe, but it's definitely new to me. I really think this is new. So if it's not, sorry if I'm wrong, but I love the texture of this. It is slightly tacky, but not in a bad way. And once it's done drying down, it has this really silky texture. Like at first I was like, ew, is this oily? But it's not. Like once I do this, it's not oily. It's just a really unique texture that I really like, but I can feel that it's radiant. I can feel that it's natural. And it really worked so well with my foundation. I don't know, I really liked it. So again, Born to Glow, I got probably the most perfect shade. This is the shade Buff, and this is new. It is their Naturally Radiant Foundation. So the way I used this yesterday was I put it on my hands, just like that. It's not super, it's not on the thin side, but it's not on the thick side. And at first I was like, ew, is this going to be thick on me? But once it was on my skin and dried down, it felt like I was wearing nothing. Like it just feels like I'm applying a very lightweight moisturizer. I don't know, it just felt so nice. I need to be very careful around my brows because I will ruin them. On my nose, I'm gonna go in with a beauty blender, but I like laying it down. And when something's natural and radiant, I like using my fingers to really melt it and blend it into my skin and to really blend in with that primer as well. I feel like that really brings the look together as opposed to just applying your foundation on top of the primer, especially when it's a little different when it's like a matte foundation, but if you're going for that like radiant wear, I like pushing it in to my skin. It's like a your skin but better foundation. I'm really excited because I think this is what I'm going to be using almost every day. I don't know if you've seen my go-to makeup look. The foundation routine that I did in that video is mainly what I do every day when I want to look decent. And I use the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. Love that foundation, but it is a little bit more on the expensive side. So I'm really happy to have found a foundation to use every day. And I would say this is kind of comparable. The texture is a little bit different, but the finish of it, and once it was like completely, when I was completely done with my face, I'm like, wow, this looks very similar to that. I love it. So I'm really excited. Okay, so for my under eye, as I used earlier for my brows, this is the NYX HD Studio. I'm running out. That's how you know this is a true product. Again, I do want to utilize this Camo concealer. I'm just gonna kiss it, just a little kiss right here to lighten up that upper cheek under eye area. See how that lightened up the rest of my face? If I use that just by itself, it literally looked like white out underneath. Oh, another thing I want to say about this NYX HD concealer, I don't know if you noticed, but it did oxidize, but it doesn't oxidize in a way where it's too orangey. So just a suggestion, if you're looking to buy that, maybe buy one a shade, like one shade lighter than what you normally would get, because it does oxidize. So for my powder, I will be using the Maybelline Fit Me. This is not new, so this is part of what's true in this episode. So this is a, let me get my brush first, Jessica. So I really like this powder. I feel like the finish is actually very comparable to my Hourglass Luminous Veil, I think that's what it's called, the Luminous Veil setting powder, translucent powder. The finish is really nice. The only difference is they have lots of shades in the Maybelline Fit Me. So I would just suggest don't go too light because it's not a full coverage powder, but the lighter you go, the more you'll be able to tell there's like a layer of powder over your skin. So just don't go too light, go something very true to your skin tone. But as far as the finish goes and the wear, it really sets creams very nicely. It doesn't budge anywhere. It's a really good powder. So definitely recommend. This is true if you're looking for an affordable option of translucent powder. To bronze up my face, I will be using the Maybelline City Bronzer. So this is a new product to me. I used it for the first time yesterday along with the other products that I mentioned that are new, and I really enjoyed it. It lasted all night and it was not patchy at all. I really do love the shade. It doesn't look as warm on the camera, but it has just a kiss of warmth. I wanted to mention, is it just me or is Maybelline a little bit It's not pricey, but for a drugstore, it's a little pricey. I feel like Morphe is more affordable than Maybelline. I don't know, that's just me. Cause this was 10 bucks. Morphe, their bronzer's probably the same price or less. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. Who are you playing, Maybelline? I love how that looks. I don't want to be too redundant in the true part of this segment, but it's gonna be so hard. But luckily I've used a good amount of drugstore products, so I can mix it up here and there and show you guys some of my true products. But you might be seeing her back again. Really like the finish a lot. Before we finish up the cheeks, I want to finish up the eyes. So going back into this palette, the NYX Contour Intuitive, and just using mainly this blending shade right here, and then a kiss of the brown and the burgundy just to deepen it up a little bit on the under eye. Perfect. Now I can finish off the bottom lash line. I wanted to use a different mascara. I really like this one for my bottom lash line. This is the Essence Lash Princess. It promises a false lash effect. It separates my bottom lashes so well. I love the brush on it, super thin, and the bristles are perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that on my bottom lash line. So for my blush, I'm going to use the item that's true to me, and that is the Milani Baked Blush in shade Rose D'Oro. Love her. I think it goes really well with the eyeshadow because it has that reddish undertone with the gold. So we're just going to go ahead and pop that on the apples of my cheek. We are done with the cheek. See how it gives a really nice luminosity? It's so, I don't want to say it's natural because it's a little bit more enhanced than natural, but it's just the right amount of luminosity without it making it look super shiny. And then when you have something like that and then add highlighter, it just looks like too much. So for me, it's just a perfect medium. For highlight, we are going to be using the PIXI by Petra. This is a true product to me, so I'm going to stick to the gold one and apply to the high points of my face. You don't even need a lot. You don't need a lot. Barely touched my face. Do you see that? Out of control. It's just speechless. I can't talk about it because the proof is in the pudding. It's right there. What proof do you need? What? Using a very thin blending, knockout. Using a very thin blending brush, I'm gonna use that same highlight very lightly because I don't want it to be too potent, and then just brush that over the arch of my eyebrow. Just give a little like highlight, and then on the inner corners as well. And I like blending it into the shadow, just like that. To set my face, this is the PIXI Makeup Fixing Mist. The only downside about PIXI, I consider it drugstore. I don't know about you. If you don't consider it drugstore, let me know in the comments down below, and then I'll just not include PIXI on this series. But if you're okay with it, I'll continue doing so because I really do like PIXI products. But this is the Makeup Fixing Mist. Such a good spray. And then I just like pushing in, just like any other highlight. I do this a lot on my channel and in real life. I push in all the powders, so that way it just really melts into the rest of the product and looks like second skin. That's a good tip too in general. If you think your highlight is looking a little bit powdery, just set your face or wet your beauty blender and just push it in. We didn't get to finish my eyebrows, so again, going back to, this is a new product. This is the E.L.F. Wow Brow. I love the Benefit Gimme Brow. That is the brow product that I will die with. That is, if there's one thing that's on my face and I'm wearing zero makeup, it's the Gimme Brow. So I really like using this yesterday. I still kind of want to use it on its own because yesterday I did this. I used the brow product and then I use this over. So when I have a really natural day, I want to swap this out for my Gimme Brow and see if it's gonna replace it. You can tell that the fibers are way more visible. You have to use it lightly. I don't know if you can tell. It's like, maybe because it's new. I feel like with the Gimme Brow that happens too. It doesn't clump up, but like sometimes it has a lot of product in one area and you'd really have to like brush it out. But anyway, back to the first point I was trying to make, but I go off on tangents, is you can tell that the fibers are way bigger on the Gimme Brow. You can't really see the fibers. They're very tiny, they're very microscopic, but on this one, they're not microscopic. They're there and I see them. I like bushier brows, so I'm brushing my brows like up a little bit. That's just me. You don't have to do that. This is how I like my brows. If they're too ugly for you, don't do it. You don't have to. I think that's fine. Can you tell that clump is there? Let me brush it out a little bit. I don't know how to use words. It wasn't a clump. Like, it wasn't like a huge amount of product. It was just the stain of product was very heavy on one side. Perfect. So good. I am very impressed with this pencil. I still want to play around with the Gimme Brow. I mean, the Gimme Brow. The Gimme Brow, but the Wow Brow. I still need to mess around with that, but the pencil, love it. So for my lips, sorry, this is a one thing. I know I said I wasn't going to use Morphe, but I'm going to use Morphe. So this is the Backseat Love liner. I really do like this liner. As you can see, it's a little shrub. I use it in my go-to makeup tutorial, I believe, but I really like this liner because it doesn't move. It's very easy to apply. It's really creamy, but once it's like set, it doesn't go anywhere. And again, I consider Morphe Drugstore because it is so cheap. These liners are like $3 or $4, and that's a little cheaper than some of y'all I be seeing at the drugstore. I'm just saying. This is the Vivid Hot Lacquer, don't know how to pronounce it. This is from Maybelline. These are so good. If you've never tried these, they're not new, so I guess that makes it a true product. So I've been using this for so long, and I really do love the finish of it. It's nice, glossy, it's super opaque, and it stays put for a long time even though it's glossy. So 10 out of 10 would definitely recommend if you're looking for an opaque gloss from the drugstore. Love it. Now I just want to compare it really quick to the NYX Ultra or Extra Intensive Gloss, the Butter Gloss. The name is something like that. But this is a little bit thinner than that formula. I would say the finish is the same, the opacity is the same, but it's just a little bit thinner, and I like the doe foot on this a little bit better. It's nice and pointed so you can really get the Cupid's arrow of your lips. I like the packaging a little bit better, but also really like the NYX gloss. But if you're looking for something a little bit thinner, recommend this one, because after a while the NYX one, if you keep applying it, just becomes a little bit more pasty. So just throwing that out there. Now this is it. This is a completed look. I really hope you enjoyed this video, but before we end this video, I have one favor to ask from you guys, and that is if you did like this series and want to see more, one, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, but two, I do need your help. And though I have products that I love and that are true to me, if you want to see tutorials that have products that you own, that you don't see it being used a lot, that are drugstore, let me know. Follow me on Instagram, pop in my DMs, let me know what those products are, or comment down on this video to see what you would like to see to include in my true. Now this true segment of course involves the products that are true to me that I love, but I also want to use products that are true to you, that you want to utilize in your beauty looks, in your beauty routine, that you aren't seeing it being used as much. Let me know. I do want to include those. So again, comment those down below or slide into my DMs on Instagram at @MichelleJessica_. But that completes this video. Hope you really enjoyed it. Make sure you turn those notification bells if you want to know when I upload. But without further ado, again, thank you so much for completing this video, and I'm so excited to start this series on my channel. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to my channel because you already made it this far, and I'd greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.